S double E. Cause I need your eyes on me. Once I get my feet in this end zone, no one can STOP. Can I make a scene like a movie, feeling big, keep it juicy before we start getting unruly. I've been hooping like a hoolie, keep it coolie before I stuff you in a locker like a bully. Like a bully in the work, you can see my fingernail dirt. I'm the last one to leave, even when I come first. Yeah, you might want it bad, but I'm sure I want it worse. I'ma do it cause I love it, I'ma love it till it hurts. What's the worst that can happen, Captain? I'm strapped in, no I'm not crazy, I'm just captain. Hungry like I'm fasting, I'm about that action, no slacking. Well, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, cause here come the pain. No one to call up for help, no one to blame but yourself. You should've known better, however you did it, so...
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Second down, back to Sanders. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go.
So, CD, this defense, they know that they have to be at their very best when they're taking on a team here that's in the midst of a winning streak that's now stretched over multiple months, not weeks, months.
I think the challenge they put upon themselves is, we want to be the guys to end that streak, and what's working in their favor, the winning streak on the other side. Sometimes that carries a burden with it because they feel like they have to play perfectly as well. Let's just go out there and get them is the idea.
Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
Well, so much for that possession.
Yeah, I think he tried to do a little too much there, partner. He tried to keep it himself. End up getting buried in the backfield, and that brings up fourth down.
There'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Ravens, they'll take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll start the drive with Drake, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
This defense for the Broncos, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's Jackson.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Michael O.J. Mudia.
And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Taken in at the 3.
Now a hit and a loose football. The
pass or an opening touchdown.
Yeah, and your defense is asking you a lot of questions right now because you're already down 7-0. You turn the ball over, they've got to go right back out there to try and keep it from getting to 14-0.
They go play action with Wilson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Throwing is Wilson. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
The kick by McManus is good. So the big return had him fired up, but in the end, the offense stalls out. They only muster 3.
Yeah, the excitement was there after the return, but they didn't move the ball at all after that. They didn't even get a first down.
Taken in at the 3. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now a run up the middle with Drake. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Now it's Jackson. He finds Bateman over the middle. And he will have a Ravens first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. The Ravens had 3 and 8 on the year. And they come in just an absolute free fall. Losers now, Charles, of 7 in a row.
And I think this is where, in a locker room, a lot of the team looks to their best players and even silently asks for them to guide them out of this. You know, we've got to be better than what we've shown. We need you to lead us. Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Josie Jewell, the linebacker, getting the sack. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end, Andrews.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 15-yard line. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. And it's caught. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens are back within a score. Tucker with the extra point. That'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Here's Wilson. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. A great play there. 29 yards as his guys are able to extend their lead. McManus's point after is good, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. On second down, a run with Dobbins. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll go again with Dobbins. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson. He's got his man downfield. That's Bateman. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 41-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 41. Jackson now. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They go back to the ground with Dobbins. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle. That's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Jackson. And that is incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
Eighth play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. To throw is Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And the Ravens are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
He dumps it off to Drake. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. What a stand this would be if they can get the stop here. 3rd and goal.
Report! Report! Hey, report! 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 Report!
Now Jackson. Touchdown! Kenyon Drake. Excellent work there to get in on the touchdown run. And the Ravens have got it back to within a score. Now Tucker to add the PAT. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. Give him 2 on the play there, and it's a first down for the Broncos.
Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. And that's incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Again, Wilson will keep it.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And this one will be a 29-yard attempt. The kick by McManus is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. Taken in at the 3. And he returns this to the 22.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
Jackson on first down. Dancing to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. That's caught. It's DeMarcus Robinson.
And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give yourself up, and let's face it, not easy for these guys to do because they're competitors as well. But sometimes you do learn your lesson the hard way, as he did there.
That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Justin Simmons.
And the Broncos are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
Wilson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Play action. Now Wilson. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. Let's take it inside his own 40. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half.
And some room to maneuver. The 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown.
J.K. Dobbins, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Ravens strike quickly here to tie up the ball game.
Tucker Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And that will put them on top here in the third. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Fourth down. Here's Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out, and the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action with Jackson. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
A 3rd quarter now, to 1-point game as they line up 2nd and 10. Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
Play action. It's Jackson. Open man is Bateman. It's complete. And the Ravens are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
They'll run with Dobbins. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
That backs them up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
It's now 3rd and goal.
3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Now it's Jackson. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. So decision time now because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Now Wilson on 1st down. That's swung out wide to Sanders. Finding room at midfield. Sanders shaking and baking. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big pickup of 38.
Well, this is where an offense needs to show what it's made of. And, in fact, where a quarterback needs to show what he's made of. Trying to engineer a 4th-quarter comeback, and he hits a big one right there.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Justin Houston in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll go up top here for Hamler. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
One thing that offensive guys stress when they throw the deep ball, you're just counting on your receiver to find it, adjust before the defensive back can get his head around. In this case, though, the DB matched it move for move and knocked it away.
So here now is Brandon McManus in a big spot. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. The kick by McManus is good.
Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Now it's Jackson. To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Another run here with Dobbins. 106 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to get the lead up to 4. Tucker's kick is good, and that'll move their lead up to 4 now. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. Into the hands of Sanders. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Here's Wilson. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Sanders has it over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 31-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Now Wilson. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. Instead, it's incomplete. Boy, that really could have turned this one upside down.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Throwing now is Wilson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be. And now it's 4th down.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going. And I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens are going to get the football back. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. Charles, we were treated to an excellent game today, capped off by that second half comeback. This was a joy to watch.
Entertaining for us. Not so much to the team who led at halftime. And now is leaving here, knowing that they let a win slip through their fingers. Tough for them to carry home.
So for the Ravens, the playoffs may be out of reach, but the win gets them to 4-8 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Denver, this could hurt in the race for home field advantage as they drop to 10-2 on the year. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs.